when you can spend all day doing these things and yet still 3 years later, still get it wrong. And Fee, do you mind making us full screen over there? Like turn the video off for us, which looks like it's still spinning in a circle. There we go. We're on.
Davo. A very warm welcome to everybody out there, wherever you are streaming this from, watching this from. Footy season is back. This is the rebranded, Davo. Rebranded.
This is rebranded, isn't it?
Robbo Live podcast. I grew tired of the name.
It's the same but different.
It is a very Melbourne podcast, as the logo would suggest. A wonderful logo there. This show is going to be from henceforth, heretofore, or however that saying goes, about Melbourne. Essentially Melbourne, what we love about Melbourne. Davo over here, who is a Western Australian who now lives and resides in Melbourne, loves Melbourne for its music, for its culture, for its coffee, for its sport. There is so much to love about Melbourne, and at the very core of that, Davo, is the Melbourne Football Club, which is, of course, right, those that don't know, a my football club, the club that I played for. We are going to do a whole new show, and we're going to involve the Melbourne Football Club as much as we possibly can, but not just the Melbourne Football Club. Dave, I'm going to hand over to you in a sec, but also the things that I just spoke about: music, culture, coffee, whiskey. Whiskey and football.
Cheers. Good to be back. Footy season is upon us.
2024. It's back. Hey, can we quickly just say hi to all our Patreon? The guys that were there last year, that's a word that's not in the dictionary, is it? Patreon?
We can. Barry Laurie is saying Robbo and Dave, go D's. And Nitro Bread is saying, g'day guys, good to see the channel is back up and running again.
Because football's back. And we're not quite ready, Dave.
We're not ready.
We're not ready. We've really rushed this up.
Caught off guard.
We've both got our lives outside of football that are very busy at the moment, and we still wanted to do this podcast because it's a bit of a passion of ours.
It is.
We're going to say that the Very Melbourne podcast is brought to you by None Such Whiskey right off the bat. None Such, it is a great drop, and do you know why it's a great drop? It's brewed out of the greatest little state in Australia, Tasmania.
And if anyone watched the season last year, was it last year or was it the year before? Gosh, time flies. If anyone watched any of the previous Robbo Live podcasts, they would have seen Robbo attempt to put Coke into his None Such whiskey. And so I think they felt sorry for him, and they've resent a nice drop for us to enjoy. And
I understand fully now why I do not need to put any of that extra stuff into it. This whiskey is something else. Thank you to the guys at None Such who have sent us a case of this stuff. Now, this, if you want to get online, can we just talk about that real quick, Davo, before we move on with what's going on in the show and moving forward this year?
You started straight with the sponsors. You're like, if they're sending me whiskey, I'm giving them a plug. I agree.
Jump online, find None Such down in Tasmania. We're going to do a special offer. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but let's rip into what we're going to be talking about tonight. Of course, football is back. The O round.
The O. Project Zero.
Roy Orbison.
I had an argument with someone only this week saying, no, this doesn't count for points. This is just like the pretend round.
Yeah, it is. It's a money spinner. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Without upsetting anybody? I feel like it is. I don't know if anybody's really invested in it, but because football's back and because we love football, we're all getting involved. And tell you what, there's some things happening in the AFL at the moment, isn't there? There is so much. Before I go any further, though, next week we have our very first special guest. As we did last year, and the year before, Davo, we always had someone football-wise come onto the show. This first show next week, we're going to call this the O podcast.
Yes, this could be it's always the practice.
This is the warm-up.
This is pre-season.
This is the O podcast before we really launch next week. We're going to do a real quick one tonight because we wanted to just let everybody know what's happening. Next week, Jason Taylor, the head recruiter for the Melbourne Football Club. I think that's his official title. He has become a bit of a guru amongst all recruiters, finding great talent and bringing them to the Melbourne Football Club. We want to talk to him and get your questions ready, guys, Melbourne supporters out there and football supporters alike, for Jason Taylor, because he can answer anything. He knows everything that's going on in the Melbourne Football Club because he has to. He has to get the players to come in and fit the mould. And hasn't he found some beauties lately?
Well, there's a couple of new debutants starting tomorrow night, I believe. We've got a little bit more on the teams later on in the episode. We'll cover that and a bit of a video of the guys at training getting very excited. Questionable acting as to whether that was a social media moment, but you guys judge for yourself when we bring it up later, and you can see for yourselves whether you think that was acting or not.
Yeah.
But very exciting. He's done a very good job. It would be really good to have him in and actually hear from a recruiter as to what's the process. How do you find these kids? Do they think they're going to play? Where are they going to play? How are they compared? Who are they compared to? Very exciting stuff.
Absolutely. He is. I keep saying guru. He is a guru. He found Petrarca. He found Oliver. He's been there for a long time now. So get your questions ready. I know you and I will. Davo, for those people that don't know who Davo is, because I'm sure if you're a Melbourne person, you know who I am. You're sick of me. You can't get rid of me at the Melbourne Football Club. I'm there all the time. Davo is, how would I describe you, Davo? You hit different, to use a younger vernacular. You hit different. Davo is a different person. And I want to bring Davo and show him to the world. His wife, who is running the cameras for us this evening, understands fully what
That's why I'm looking at her going, where the hell is he going with this? I hit different.
So Davo is a marketing guru in IT and software, which is a bit of an oxymoron for me, really. It's like cool, uncool.
Yeah. What? Software's very cool. Now, everyone wants to be in B2B software.
You're all about AI
until you're in it.
Trying to make it cool. And you do a very good job. That's why he's highly sought after all around the world. He's into fitness. He's into Peloton. For those of people, do you know what Peloton is? Peloton is a bit of a cult. It's like a religious cult. At some point, I'm expecting David to put the black Nike shoes on and top himself in a bit.
We're going to get on the bikes. So we did do this. We'll share this actually.
We will.
I've got us on the bikes. I got Robbo onto the bike with another friend of mine. So we'll share that for fun, just to see how we went in the off season.
Yes. Davo does that, Peloton, a lot. In fact, every day he's very fit. He's also into his music. And tonight we will be hearing Davo sing for the very first time live on the couch over there. We just quickly practiced one of your songs before, and I'm going to play along with you. I can't wait for people to hear you sing. He's a songwriter, singer-songwriter. What else? You're a family man? No, shut up.
Come on, move on.
People are going to understand who you are. Family man, and of course, one of my great mates. So
I like walks on the beach. I like windsurfing.
Yeah, all of that. And whiskey and West Coast Eagles. So
well, I'm a long-suffering West Coast Eagles supporter, but I'm a Melbourne member, as you guys all know. I've been a Melbourne member for a long time now. My wife's a Melbourne member.
She's a legend.
So I used to go and watch you play.
She's a Shane Woden fan.
It was easy to get to the bar when you were playing, mate. There was no issues of getting whiskey. But it was good. I loved it. I loved the whole thing about Melbourne. I wouldn't do this podcast if I didn't believe in the culture of the club, and the fact that we called this a very Melbourne podcast is Melbourne it's Melbourne. This is what it stands for. And it was, as you said last year at the grand final, we wrote the rules of the game.
Mate, we are the OG.
Yes.
To again use a younger vernacular. We are the OG. We are the true residents of the MCG. We're the ones that started the game, and of course we know all of that. And we are playing some pretty good football at the moment, and we're really looking forward to a great 2024 season. And Dave, I can't see the comments, but you can, and we're going to work on that for next week.
Paul says, sounds like Robbo will be the only one doing the show half cut.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at that.
Well, we all want that grand final episode back, don't we? For anyone that watched Robbo in the grand final, we really need that version again. I'm going to find that full version somewhere. Yes.
Responsible drinking, of course.
Of course. We got a big show, and we were worried about packing it out. We're going to bore these people if we don't move on. I've got to go through, though. It's been a big off-season.
Huge. Lots going on, and centred around the Melbourne Football Club.
Well, the club has been in a lot of turmoil over the off-season, and I know we were like, do we want to go into this or not?
Well, we will.
I think. Look, I'm telling you.
This show, and that's it.
I think we should. I mean, look, I want to show you I don't think everyone's seen this. It is the elephant in the room, Nitro Breed. I think what the club has lowered itself to...
What?
is beyond ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean, the West Coast Eagles turning up to preseason training dressed like bloody clowns for the first game of the season. What the hell is going on with them? They're a basket case.
Turn it up, West Coast Eagles. What is going on over there? Look, I can understand the mentality, though. I can understand the mentality of trying to change things around a little bit and create some fun.
You would never turn up to training like this with Neil Danaher. Would he ever let you turn up to a training session like that? No.
Things are different, though, these days, Dave. We know that.
I don't know if they're for the better.
The Geelong Cats famously, at the end of the season, come all dressed up. And that's at the end of the season after they've won a premiership.
Yes, that's right. These guys haven't won a game in like 4 years, and they're turning up dressed like that. They're like guaranteed almost wooden spoon.
Look, they're trying
and
to...
dressing like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they're trying to...
Joke.
create a bit of fun for themselves because it would be very hard. We've got our predictions coming up, Davo, and what we will be doing this year, this show is really about letting you know what we're going to be doing for this year. We want you to get involved as our Patreon, and we want to get as many people involved as possible. We're not going to do it just out of here every week, are we?
We're going on the road.
We're going on the road. We're going to a lot of interstate games. We'll be going to a few pubs to do this.
There's a couple
live.
of pubs on the list.
Every show we're going to be highlighting, well, not every show, but most shows we're going to be highlighting a musician.
Yes.
Which is a world that I'm very much a part of. I can't wait to show you and bring you some of Melbourne's great talent, singer-songwriters, just performing people. That along with footy tipping, of course. This is a footy show based around the whole of Melbourne, but it's a footy show and it's brought to you by Bang On, the new app.
Oh, yeah.
Bang On, you can use to bring, footy tipping, everyone everywhere does it, don't they? In their office, at work or whatever, with their friends. If you want to get it all under one banner in one place, Bang On is the app to go to.
Yeah,
and
we're going to share that. So Bluey McKenna is West Coast Eagle legend, and you've had him on the show, Hall of Famer. Yeah. He hit me up at the coffee shop and said, "You work in tech. Can you help me with this app?" And the concept is, you pick one game every weekend. So to start off with, we're just doing the Friday night games, and so on those Friday night games, it's a win. So you pick the winner, right? So it's not Melbourne versus Sydney, but let's pretend that's the Friday night game. We're going to pick Melbourne to win by 13 points. If you get within 6 points of the margin, you get a bonus amount of points, which I think is 6.
Yeah.
I should have been paying a little bit more attention, but you get bonus like 4 for the win and 6. Then you get, if you get bang on, you get 10. Yeah. And so over the year, you'd be quite surprised. People get margins and they get bang on, and the ladder changes throughout the year. So it's a lot of fun. One game every weekend. And it's round 0, so we're getting ready for that.
Yeah. And look, of course, this is not an app where you are putting money in or doing any of that, is it?
No gambling.
No, gamble responsibly, of course. So that's what it's all about, this show this year. That with a lot of guests, brought to you by Nonesuch, of course. The guest will be brought to you by Nonesuch. Have I said Nonesuch enough?
I think you've said it quite a bit.
Love them. I love those guys.
Hey, can we talk about the off-season?
Yes, let's get into it, because we said we would, and we're only going to briefly go through what happened at the Melbourne Football Club, because the culture of the club has been called into question, hasn't it?
It has.
And it's not great. So I think, hey, can I just say it? A winning performance really turns things around, doesn't it? Like it shuts a lot of people up, because if you go back 3 weeks ago, and we'll dive into all the little issues as they are and as they were, but 3 weeks ago we were a basket case. We're a team that's going to finish at the bottom of the ladder. We're not even going to make the top 8. Josh Jenkins. We're just going to be a rabble. The coach is lost his players. He's worse than the players are. We know what's happened with Joel Smith, Clayton Oliver, all of that sort of stuff. And then you go and beat Carlton quite impressively too.
Easily. There
was some performances in that game that I'd love to highlight. And then
Max
all of a sudden,
being one. Because I'm highlighting this image here, which is this came from some David King and a few others that are criticising Melbourne, saying basically the culture's in trouble, too many self-inflicted wounds, and they're going to bottom out.
Yeah. And then you throw into all of that Clayton Oliver and his issues, which is really an issue above the shoulders for an individual, which is really quite sad to watch from afar what was happening to him by all the people, trying to make some noise. And, I guess slow news days, what's going on there with Clayton Oliver? What's going on with the Melbourne Football Club? The ex-president's throwing, spears from a long way off, and we know what happened with Joel Smith in the last round of the game, last round of 2023. So, of course, there's nothing else to talk about. So what do? I think the Melbourne Football Club did quite a good job at fielding all of that. Just shielding, just in-house, it's outside noise, all of that sort of stuff. And let me just say this, and I want you to comment yourself, Dave, on what you think as a outsider, because you're a West Coast Eagle.
Stop saying that.
Well, I just would love to bring you back down to earth a little bit. We're a West Coast Eagle supporter. You could be excused for wanting to come out and say, oh, this and that, we're doing this, we're doing that. But they sort of, they close ranks, believe in what they're doing there, and it is outside noise. And for everybody that is throwing stuff that's a brickie, that's not casting dispersions on anybody, that's someone that works in the city or whatever, you think you know.
Unless you're a brickie.
Well, you think you know what's going on AFL Club. You don't. you
No, you
don't
don't.
know what you're talking about.
It's
And
immediate. Like, there's a couple of bad things, isn't there? But, like, they will be itching for this time tomorrow night for the siren to go and go get on with it. And then it's after that, forget it. Everything that happens in the off-season, I think most of it is boredom.
Exactly.
And the media are bored. They got to find something to talk about. They've found Sam Kerr to talk about now instead, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
She got stripped of her captaincy. Did someone say this?
It's hard.
For what? Innocent until proven guilty, or
Well,
just
here's-
you're guilty? And like,
Here's the challenge being an elite sports person, Dave. I mean, it's expected that you do everything perfectly.
No.
You do everything perfectly.
like you were perfect. You
well,
didn't do
I
anything.
never did anything wrong, but also didn't have any of these back in
Yeah,
the day.
that's
I was
true, right?
Now I was going to drop a name.
Well, you would have had that.
I'm going to drop a name right now. David Rees-Jones and I had a coffee today.
Did you?
And Reese said the same thing. He said, if one of these was around when I was playing football, I'd be in jail still.
Trouble. Did he go to jail? Did he?
No, meaning like he'd go to jail and he'd
would go,
still
yeah.
be there.
It was a way different time back then, wasn't it?
It was. Davo, head knocks been dominating the headlines of late, and it's well they should be. It's not great, is it? It's come to light. Probably, obviously, Angus Brayshaw has really. I don't want to say the poster boy, but of course he's had to retire. For those that don't know, if you've been living under a rock, at the
Big loss.
I guess it's the doctor has said it's done. You're done. You know, there's lesions on the brain now, and it's time to give it away. So you're done. And as a player, you've just got to go, well, okay, that's it. So the question is, does a player decide, or does the doctor decide? I'm interested to get your thoughts on that, being a person that...
These days, a doctor would be better informed in making a decision than a player. You know, and I'm sure the doctor would weigh it up, and I don't know. I don't know the context, but it must be heart-wrenching for someone who's in his peak. He's a very, very good player to now not be playing the game. We're going to come back. We did a poll earlier as to whether it was, we think Maynard's was a suspension-worthy act.
Absolutely it was. In 2024.
Well, I don't want to give away the poll.
In 2023, probably not. 2024.
Yeah, well, they changed the rules after
the
the
rules
fact,
have
right?
changed.
So, but then, I mean, do you want to have a look at the other hit from the weekend?
Go for it.
Have you seen this? Have you guys seen this one?
Well, of course.
Well, until you told me about it, I hadn't seen it, and I pulled
Talking
it
about
up. So
Jimmy Webster, of course.
Yeah, let's have a look at this. See if this video works. All right.
See here, right on the temple. Gets through on this. Nice and late from Jimmy. Just
I don't know what he was thinking.
I don't know about nice and late as the commentary.
But he like jumped. There's like no question at all in that.
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things to talk about here, and I know we've heard a lot about it. Kingy there and all the Fox Footy panel
Well,
and
Kingy
everybody
went on.
there. And
I don't know. We can probably
Harold
skip what he
Sun
said. He basically said 10 weeks.
Yeah, and everybody's had their say. And look, as a player, so someone who played the game, you're in a bygone era, you were told to go out and play hard and hit hard, and that sort of act 10 years ago. And I know you've got the Maynard thing here, so why don't you play that?
No, before that though. So help me understand this. Because in the old days, you could sort of do that.
Yes.
Are players just, they wouldn't have kicked it if they knew the guy was encroaching like that? He would have just known, I can't kick this because that guy is going to smash me. So I'm going to have to either like brace myself, try and dodge out of a tackle. Is like, have they changed the way they're reacting today? And that's what's causing this sort of behaviour.
David Rees-Jones made a great point today. He said players now don't know how to protect themselves because they haven't had to. And so when things go wrong like that, which is a rarity, look, let's be honest, that's a rarity. We don't see that very often. Jimmy Webber, he got it wrong. We know that. Didn't mean to, didn't want to hurt anybody, but he's going out there. What do they say? You know, you fight
in that
like,
last, you reckon he wasn't trying to hurt him?
Well, he did. He did hurt him, and he wanted to get physical contact. Did he want to hit him in the head?
He knocked
I don't know about that.
Where in the head?
Well, what's the mentality of a footballer when he's out there? Does he, I want to kill this person? No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody really. But what happens is you in a split second, you do have to change your mind, and you just have to be better. You have to be trained better. Just like missing a kick. Did you mean to miss a kick? No, but we just need to train more this. We need to get better at this, and that's what David Rees-Jones was saying. as a person that's kicking the ball, you need to be better at covering up. And secondary to that is the person that hits you, or even, I wouldn't say secondary, but equal to that, the person that hits has to be better. So we have to train this now because it has changed like that. It's changed so quickly. Don't say that it hasn't, because it has. When I played, which is not that long ago, we could get away with that. That was, 1 or 2 weeks, you got him in the head.
Does that happen in like, I don't know if anyone's listening, does that happen in local football?
Absolutely it does.
Like that would happen in country football
and dealt with
like
the
AFL
same way.
And you get...
There'd be less video footage of it.
Yeah.
Most of it would be one camera and then umpire testimonial, players coming in and the result, what happens to the person. Absolutely, everywhere. And something very interesting, Dave, came to light today that I didn't know about, that it's the mandatory 21 days now. So 3 weeks, you can't play after a concussion.
Oh, really?
3 weeks. That's not just AFL now.
So it's not the 7 anymore.
That's everywhere.
Oh, right.
Everywhere, which I love. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that now clubs, be it Swan Hill or the Collingwood Football Club, it's incumbent upon them now to make sure that the player is assessed the correct way by doctors. I don't know how that works for each club. I know how it works for an AFL club, but they have to have the player assessed, and it's a mandatory 21 days until you play again. That's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
I've asked this before, and Angus Brayshaw is not a good example of it because maybe it's after the fact, but should players be wearing helmets?
Don't think so. I don't think it helps that much.
Oh, come on. It has to. Otherwise, why would you wear one? I mean, I know he's been hit so many times.
Maybe.
But if it's now 21 days, that is a long time for...
Yeah.
I mean, some of these aren't freak incidents.
Here's the other thing. Sometimes
And
players...
I don't mean NFL helmets. Yeah. That's not what I'm proposing.
No, not one of those, no. Look, they end up using it as battering rams, and then we have all sorts of... Because they've got the CTE issue over there as well.
Yeah.
So this is the big issue here. It's not Angus Brayshaw now. It's Angus Brayshaw when he's 50 plus.
Yeah.
What's happening inside here is really different to what's happening inside his brain now. The proteins that get released that hurt the brain, and I'm not getting all medical because I won't. Go and watch the movie Concussion if you want to.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
Well, I'd
movie.
love to have a debate with someone. I'd love to get Angus Brayshaw in and have someone else...
We'll work on that.
Talking
Lives around
about
the corner.
This is he does live around the corner.
His dad's from the same state as yours.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, Paddy McCartan is also there was Brad Shepherd at the Eagles.
Yep.
You've had Shane Tuck, who the Richmond player.
Yeah.
There's been issues.
Yes. And hits like on the weekend, Jimmy Webster, 7 weeks I think is the right number of weeks. Now coaches go and knee jerk, because all coaches and clubs knee jerk to anything that happens.
Do not bump.
Do not bump.
There will never be a bump anymore.
Simon Goodwin says today, do not bump.
Did he?
Well, I think maybe that's what I read somewhere.
But
whether he actually said it or not, a coach has said don't bump.
Why do it now? Because the risk is too high versus the reward.
100%.
Because
Good players.
If you bumped
This
him,
guy,
he'd already kicked it down
play,
the ground.
Press play on this, because this guy he's a great player. A great player, Maynard. I love the way he goes about it. He's hard. My argument with that one was he had time enough to put his hands out in front. He's turned his shoulder into the player a little bit. I would have, if it was a Collingwood player, would have done that a little different. That was my argument last year. I'm leaving it alone now because I think he's a great person, Maynard, and I think Collingwood, they're a great club now. They really are. They're a bunch of really good blokes, and I might change my mind on the Collingwood Football Club. Don't hate me, Melbourne supporters. But that there is this year, left the ground, hit head high, concussion. Is it 7 weeks now?
Oh, it's not 7 weeks.
Well, what is it?
Because it's a suspension, though.
Well,
if you're playing basketball, and you go up for a rebound, you jump in, you try to grab it, and you can't, and you realise you're going to land on someone. What do you do? What do you do in that instance? Do you put your hands out?
There's so many grey areas. What the AFL is saying, black and white now. You leave the ground, you hit the head, cause and effect. It's weeks. That was off.
Like, you have arms for a reason.
That's off. Not this year. That won't be off this year. We can leave that now. We can park that.
What about red cards?
I got a red card once.
Did you?
Yeah, playing for Australia. Dropped that. Yeah, played for Australia. Yeah, I hit
So wait,
hip and shouldered.
in football. So
when I
firstly,
played the Irish over in Perth.
yeah,
we
no,
played the
because
Irish.
it sounds funny, doesn't it?
No red
You
card.
played
but-
football for Australia, and you're like, what? As in Australian rules?
No,
And
we
some
played the
people go,
Irish
"What?
Gaelic thing. And
You got a red card.
Yeah, I got red carded.
What'd
I
you
knocked
do?
a bloke over. Well, nothing that wouldn't have been.
Didn't
it was
leave the
just fine.
ground
It
and
wasn't like that.
even
No,
there.
I just hip and shoulder and it was fine. Got him down. It would have been good in AFL, but in that international thing, the combined rules, there's less contact. Shouldn't be doing that. Red card, you're off. Didn't get to play.
Well, I had no idea. That's amazing.
We'll find
Red
that.
card.
Maybe we should find that.
Hey, a couple of
footage.
comments. I'm going to grab a couple.
Please.
Gary saying punch someone in the head with a helmet and do the same without one and see the results. It's very different.
Yeah, okay.
Lee Adams also retired early.
Yep.
Thanks, Robin. That was a good shout out.
Yep.
And helmets have proven to not help, according to Michael Wood. Controversial. Brayshaw's technique got him in the position he used to tackle head first. He did a bit. Paddy McCartan had bad technique, never turned his body to gather the ball. So there's some technique things coming in.
Yeah.
And
Look, I agree with that.
yeah,
I really agree with that. Technique is probably the way forward. Much like we're training stoppages, we're training kicking goals, we need to train how to protect yourself in this situation.
and we definitely don't want
Gonna
some
get-
of the trends
yeah.
of the Shuey effect, which is going in and like trying to get head contact.
Righto. Let's move on from that because we've spent enough time.
We needed to ask the supporters though. We did a poll earlier on whether Maynard should get suspended or should he have got suspended. A little bit late now, isn't it?
Oh, yes. What was the result of that poll, David?
At the moment, if you guys want to participate in the poll, if anyone wants to vote that he shouldn't have got suspended, you can do that. Go to slido.com right now, type in the number 1131237, or after the fact, we'll keep this poll open. So if you're listening to this on the various social platforms, pull over your car and then do it. But fill that in and let us know. This is a live poll that's being updated. And according to Kodiak, it's absurd that Maynard didn't get suspended. And I think judging by the people, I mean, we are going out to Melbourne supporters with this one. It'd be very interesting to post this to Collingwood supporters to see what they think. But
we're going to have a heavy Melbourne supporters.
it's going to be a little bit biased. I mean, my post today, I did say to them, guys, try not to be completely one-eyed.
Yeah, look, I mean,
but it's suspendable. I
there's
think it is.
precedents now that are going to change some minds. And even if you're a Collingwood supporter, I think that you understand now that what he did last year was probably a week or two.
Mate, we got Rex the legend from Nonsuch on the stream right
None
now.
such.
None
None
such.
such.
None
None
such.
such. Got to get
What did I
that
say?
right.
Nonsuch.
None such.
That's like a West
That's
Australian
nonsense.
weird thing.
None
None such. Rex
Rexy.
Burden saying hello. So
Good on you,
cheers,
mate.
cheers, Rex. We're
Cheers to
enjoying
you.
it. Actually, I got some of your gin, which I really liked, because Robbo was going to get me some gin once, but he was at the bottle shop and he said there were too many choices, so didn't turn up with anything.
Yeah,
which is I didn't realise that can happen to someone. You go in somewhere and you have so many options, you don't know what to do. Because I remember saying to him, "What did I say to you?"
So your choice was nothing. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where I was just overstimulated that I failed. I made
you failed.
a mistake just like Jimmy Webster did. I got it wrong.
Yep.
And I'll put my hand up and say I'll take the 7 or 8 weeks, whatever you're going to give me. Davo, what'd you get up to over the summer, mate?
Taylor Swift.
Did you?
Yep. I
You
love
were one
her.
of the Swifties.
Yeah, I got her bracelets now. And
How was it? How was it, mate?
Mate, 96,000 people.
Yeah.
And everyone is up dancing and singing, and the girls are hanging out together and they're swapping bracelets.
Awesome.
And like my teenage girls are like, swapping bracelets with other girls and talking and swapping phone numbers and asking what
Awesome.
albums they like. My daughter's
Yeah.
now playing guitar again. So she's learned to play the guitar. She's buying vinyl records, which cost a fortune. But mate, that
Miss Americana.
I loved it. I thought it was
She's-
so good.
Pop culture, she's changed the face of it, hasn't she? I mean, she brings the
big
country
fan.
vibe into it and she has really affected,
She should be a Melbourne supporter.
as she would be.
We'd have
she?
to work on this, wouldn't we?
Here's a question. Who would Taylor Swift barrack for if she was an AFL follower? Given that she's dating a
Well,
dating?
she lives in She has a massive house in Rhode Island. So she can be a bit elitist.
So
I'm not gonna.
She'd be a Patriots fan, would she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, not anymore.
No,
But she
not
would have.
anymore, but she might have been.
She might have
Chiefs.
been.
She's a Chief.
She might have been. She grew up in Philadelphia.
Yep.
So I don't know. Philadelphia's a bit rougher. It's a bit Western Bulldogs, really.
So you spent some
Could be
time
some
in
Cats
America. Yeah.
type, but I think Philadelphia is probably a Western Bulldogs. It's it's a city, but it's the wrong part of town. But I'm gonna say Melbourne.
Okay, we need to move on.
Yeah,
you're gonna ask me what I got up to over the.
Was I?
I think that's what we planned.
Did we plan that? when did we have the rehearsal? Because I distinctly remember you were going to be on time, and you weren't. So what did you get up to, Robbo, over the off season?
At least I'm consistently late. I went on a cruise, Davo. Went up to up past Fiji and all those South Pacific islands, which was wonderful with the family. I really enjoyed it.
Did you get COVID?
Never done it before. No, I didn't. But everybody else did. So I'm calling it right now. I have the antibodies that are just working a treat right now.
Cheers, everyone. Happy AFL season.
It's back.
It's hard to believe.
It is. And with that in mind, we need to start talking a little bit how we think this season is going to go. We're going to finish up.
Coming up?
We're going to finish up very soon. Just to reiterate.
The fortune cookies.
To reiterate, we are this year all about Melbourne and what Melbourne is all about. We love the trams. We love the culture. We love the coffee. We love everything about it, obviously the sport, but we love football. We love food.
We do love food.
We love
the
food.
Yeah, the fortune cookie was good because they didn't do a crystal ball.
Yeah, that's
but we were actually in Brighton having I think we were out of Japanese, which is odd, but we got a fortune cookie, and in the fortune cookie, your future is plastic, to my daughter. And I was like, is this sponsored by the local plastic surgeon? Or
Certainly.
Was it a Barbie thing? It was highly unusual.
Your future is plastic.
Your future is plastic.
Very
I thought we were moving
strange.
away from plastic.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Now,
we're going to have a look at
the coffee cup. The coffee cup. Will we go with the rest? Not the rest. A couple other states that are getting rid of the one-use coffee cup. I think is it
getting
Adelaide?
rid of it?
Yeah, South Australia. I think.
Yeah. Like you go. Oh, we should.
I think so too. There's something
or
for the
recyclable coffee cup because you can't recycle them. Fee, can you get that up on the screen? It's MP1. We got a new. No, that's the MP2. That's the game coming up later. Sydney versus Melbourne. That's a big one.
Very excited
You
to
need to
talk
switch
about
it
that.
over. We got a new person on the screens. Top right corner, Fee. Go back and then go MP1. Yep.
There we
Stop
go.
that to MP1.
Beautiful. Here it is.
There we go.
Our top 8 predictions.
Top 8.
Davo, you've been hard at work making this look all nice and sexy.
I used the concussion rule for you.
Thank you very much. Now, I was a bit annoyed by our mate Josh Jenkins.
Yeah, that's what we've got him in there.
This is why this is here.
I mean, fancy putting the Eagles last.
I can't understand that for 1 minute. But look,
there's no D's.
No demons in his 8, and it made me angry. And he was one of those ones shouting from the mountaintop that Melbourne aren't going to be what they were. They're finished. They're done. Their culture is terrible. So let's have a look at his Lions on top, followed by the Blues. The Pies won't even make a grand final this year. Crows, he's got them high. I wonder why he's got the Crows there. I know they're good, but
because he used to play for the Crows.
Yep, Swans, he thinks their defensive pressure this year is going to get them there. The Cats are going to continue making the 8. I don't think so.
Bluey didn't have him in. You didn't have him in. I'm a token, but I didn't have him in. Cats won't make it.
I like his pick for GWS. I like his pick for the Suns, and I like his pick for the Spooner. The Eagles, you don't. Now,
I just can't.
You talk about yours. Go on. Go.
Oh, Lions are going to be hard to beat, especially up at the Gabatoir. Giants were very good last year, and they got a young side, and they're going to keep going. Pies are hard to beat. Power are always good in Adelaide. The D's will be around the place, hopefully higher.
Terrible.
Hopefully higher. I really want them to be higher, and I expect them to be higher. This is pessimistic, Dave, from the last 2 or 3 years. I want it to be wrong too. I think the Blues, they beat the D's twice last year and won in the final and another one, but they knocked them off in the preseason. But who gives a shit? The Crows, they'll be pretty good, and Swans just can't disappear for me. It was either them or the Dogs.
Look, Bluey and I are gone, and we're pretty similar.
Yeah, we're very similar.
Of course, I've got the Demons on top. I love my club. They're awesome. And I think, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a Demons Pies grand final? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would be good.
And we had them last year. A kick just
Yeah.
went a little bit astray, and we would have had them out of that final series. But they were lucky and they won. I think Power are a really strong side. The Lions, like you say, the Gabatoir. Why do we call it Bris Vegas? It's not. It's not nothing like Vegas.
It's not
I think.
Vegas.
GWS. No, you know what? I could have them higher. Maybe above the Lions. Maybe above Power. Actually, I could swap those around. But look, who cares? The Blues,
Yeah.
I don't think they're that great. Walsh is not going to play for a while. Will they get that momentum up? Harry McKay, he still can't kick. Come on, guys, stop it.
Yeah.
Dogs, you know, the last couple I'm sort of going, I really want the Suns. That's going to be the story. And then this is what I want to ask for next week. And I don't know how we do it, Davo. We'll talk about it during the week. But how do we ask the people that are watching right now, get it ready for me, what's going to be your story for 2024? So
We can
let's
post
get
that.
your fortune cookie going. What will be your story for 2024? It could be a Cinderella story. It could be a scandal. It could be anything. I just want your story for 2024 for me. And we can get rid of that now, Fee. Come back live. I think,
I reckon 2 West Australian teams are going to lose their coaches.
wow, I love it. That's good. Yeah, because Freo not been good in the off season. And you can hear the media starting to, we're
One
coming
in
for you.
all, and
We're
it's a big- I
coming
don't want
for
that
you.
to happen. I'm not that fussed about Fremantle.
How long has it
But-
been since
But I like Adam
a
Simpson.
Western Australian?
But
both
two
teams?
could be in trouble.
My story is the Gold Coast Suns will make finals for the first time. I really want them to.
And
Dimmer
9
Hardwick-
people will turn up.
Well, look at that midfield group. Rao, Took Miller,
Yeah, they're good.
Noah Anderson, who was top. Was he top 5 in the Brownlow medal? He was really going really well. Underrated player, and a team that is got a new coach, a new sense of self, a new game plan. Can't wait to see how that goes. And a very interesting first round for them playing Richmond. Adamuze, my mate.
Oh, I was going to ask you. We've got that coming up, that round. We're gonna
Yeah.
preview that.
Yes, we are. So that's our predictions for the top 8 for this year. Do your own.
Stephen Roberts reckons the Suns will finish 5th or 6th and will host a home
Good.
final.
Love it. I want them to make it. It would be good. It would be good for the AFL as well.
There may not be a lot of people there.
No. So what's next? What's
What's next? We got the Melbourne versus Sydney
Let's
game.
talk about it real
Let's
quick.
talk about the game.
We've got to get to your song. Davo is about to sing us a song every show. We're going to be finishing with a local talented musician. Davo is one of those because he writes his own songs. I can't wait to hear this song in a minute. So what do you got here for me, Davo? This is the last couple of rounds.
We were going to talk about
played.
odds, but I've actually found some interesting things in the odds. So a couple of things. Both teams are odds on exactly the same. Odds on the same? What? Shows how good I am at gambling.
Yeah. You don't do it.
May cause an inability to speak properly. Is that what it
It
says?
says on here somewhere.
If I could read, I'd figure that out. It was it's apparently going into this game, it's even, which
Yeah.
I am shocked.
Well, maybe because it's in Sydney.
No,
I would have
these
thought
will
the fact
flog
that
'em.
Sydney have got a couple of injuries. Mills,
They're
obviously.
gonna-
and,
this is a 50-pointer.
Parker, is he playing? I don't think he is. What the story in this game really, though, is Maxi Gawn taking on his teammate in Brodie Grundy. I can't wait to watch that,
Oh, of course.
you know? And I think there's going to be a lot of people that want to see Brodie do quite well, but I don't think he will against the GOAT.
No,
He's the GOAT, isn't he?
he is.
It's a superstar.
He is a superstar.
Oh
He's
my
the key to the season. So, the thing with the 8, when you start thinking about like where you're going to finish, you just need to make sure you haven't got injuries.
Can I just say that I watched that Carlton game, and just as a footballer, I wrote something on Facebook. I know you read it, but sitting back just going, wow, this is I'm being treated to a ruckman who has mastered his craft.
Yeah.
And I've got a young stepson who's 6'2", you know him, Harvey, huge boy, wants to be a ruckman, loves Max Gawn, barracks for Collingwood, but loves Max Gawn, has met him, and is enamoured by him. And we just both sat there talking about everything that he did.
Yeah,
If
he's
you've
a
got the
freak.
game recorded, go back and watch how he mastered the middle of the ground, positioning himself in the right spots at the right time, his second and third effort possessions, getting it forward, running forward when he needed to, finding his man, finding free kicks, contested marks. It was a thing of beauty, and it's going to be a great game because Brodie Grundy is
gonna
a
be
super
a
talented
cracker.
ruckman.
Well, I put up the last 2 times they've played, and the D's have had them on both times
Yep.
quite convincingly. So
Yep.
21 points last time they played, which was August 27. That was a long. Oh, it was not quite finals.
Yep.
And then April 2nd as well. They beat them by over 50 points. So I'm going D's by
Oh, absolutely.
50 points.
Some big news for the Melbourne Football Club. We have 3 debutants playing, and I might be wrong about this, but Billings, Caleb Windsor, the new Duke, after Earl Sporting played at the Melbourne Football Club before he went to Carlton. The new Duke of the Melbourne Football Club, Caleb Windsor, wasn't he really impressive in his warm-up games, especially against Carlton? A couple of goals there. Was it 2 or 3? Blake Howes gets a run, and Jack Billings, looking forward to seeing him cut through defences with his unbelievable kicking skills coming across from St Kilda, of course. He and the rest of the team are looking quite healthy. I'm going to pick a couple of names off there really quickly and say who I'm actually really impressed with at the moment. Jacob Van Rooyen played really well against Carlton. I know they didn't have their main defender in... why am I having it? It starts with W. I'm having a brain fade, and this is where great podcasters and great sports presenters
Don't have these problems.
would absolutely get this right.
No, they don't have to.
But he played well. Stephen May and Jake Lever did their thing down the back line, didn't they? They were sensational. But
Salem back in, which is
Salem
good.
was the story, wasn't he, really, of that game, going into the middle of the ground. And his set-up play that he was doing off the half-back flank, he was doing it in the middle, which was a whole new concept for the Melbourne Football Club and a whole new look for our football club. So
Harrison Petty's back in. He's not injured.
no, I don't think he is. I don't know about that. I don't know why that's there. That might be wrong. But anyway, and also...
Because the tall forward has been a problem. I mean, Van Rooyen is awesome, can jump.
Yes.
Tom McDonald's the emergency. Ben Brown's not playing. Is he still injured?
He's still injured. Josh
injured.
Shackey comes in as well and
Okay.
plays, I think, his first game for the Melbourne Football Club in the O round. And I do believe that we have another in. This is wrong. I
Where's
think we need
Cozzy?
to get rid of this.
Where's
one.
Cozzy?
Cozzy Pickett? Is he not up there? I think this is wrong. I think we need to get rid of that slide.
I think opening round.
I think it's a mock
just
team.
a disaster.
No, that's a mock team. Someone's put a mock team up there. That's not the actual team. And look, that's a good team. Don't get me wrong.
Well, but it's arguably missing
not
the
the
players
right
that might be playing,
Can I talk about
which is a bit ordinary.
Kynan Brown down there at the bottom as well in that team as an emergency? Wouldn't that be great to see? Because he is the son of a former player of the Melbourne Football Club, Nathan Brown, who I played with, superstar guy, great guy, halfback flanker, ran hard all day, went hard. Kynan played really well against Richmond out at Casey Fields the other day.
Cozzy is suspended.
That's right, because he's suspended. Come on,
That's
mate.
right.
You should have known that. You should have known that.
He did go a bit spared, didn't he? That's what he said. He was getting a little bit angry.
Did I not know that?
I knew that. Thank you, Stephen. I'm glad you're paying attention. We need you on this podcast to pay attention for us.
So we're going around the grounds, Davo.
We're not yet. We got to have a look at the acting classes that came from Melbourne.
Okay.
See if you guys can pick whether you think this was real or not. I think our Bluetooth might be cut off.
Billings. Is that not working? People can't hear it?
No, I'm gonna. No, they can't hear it. Hang on.
Audio problems here, folks. We'll just fix that right up.
See, pre-season's rubbish, really. Like, what do you want to do? We're like, if you win anything in pre-season, you don't win anything.
Basically, what you're seeing here, folks, is the players talking about the 3 debutantes. Can I tell you about my...
There we go. Now we got sound going.
Talk about our standards of training, how good last week was going into Carlton, and we spoke about it. This week's got to be good as well, and our best trainer for the year has been Blake Howes, and he's playing.
Oh, I skipped it. Let me go back to where we were. Maxie
we
going
talk
again.
about our standards of training, how good last week was going into Carlton, and we spoke about it. This week's got to be good as well, and our best trainer for the year has been Blake Howes, and he's playing.
There you go.
That's good.
As we check scores from other...
That's really good. I don't know what that was.
This is going to be good
that
when you hear
rounding?
it. Someone, Ruth saying, she's in London. It must be first thing in the morning for Ruth. Ruth Dunn, she was on many times last year. She said, I can hear it in London. I couldn't hear it, and it was right next to me.
Isn't that wonderful to see, though? Like, how awesome is that here?
Yeah, it's good.
You're debuting for a football club, especially as a young man.
It's awesome.
It is so good. I remember my first that moment for me happened as well. I knew before, I was told. I was told 2 days before, and I wasn't allowed to tell anyone because it was surrounded in a bit of cloak and daggers. That Dean Irving had been on the list for a while, West Australian.
Yeah.
He got injured and was put onto the long-term injury list, but we hadn't announced that yet. And I'd been elevated from the rookie list, had been playing well in the reserves, and I was told that I'm playing against the West Coast Eagles first game over at the Wacker, but I wasn't even allowed to tell my mum and dad. I had to go home.
Really?
And keep it a secret for 24 hours to the next training session. Out on the ground like that, Greg Hutchison, who had been the interim coach, had elevated me off the rookie list and announced to the players. And I had that moment as well, which is just a wonderful moment. And do you know what I did? You'll love this. I know you will love this. I, as a award to myself for getting my first game, I wasn't allowed to tell mum and dad. So I got in my car, drove down to Chapel Street, and I went to Brash's or whatever it was and bought Pearl Jam 10.
Bang. How good is that?
Yep. No, I had obviously other albums.
Was it already
but
out?
I didn't have
Why
any
did
money.
you wait so?
No, it had already been out, but I hadn't bought it yet.
95,
And
96?
How much was the CD back in the day? $30?
$30?
I couldn't afford to buy a CD, you know, when I first got to Melbourne because we were rookie listers. We didn't have much money, and I was working full time as well. Oh, how different the times were! You could actually bump people in the head back then and get away with it.
All right, let's have a look. That's good. I've done around the grounds audio to match this.
As we check scores from other grounds, Robbo,
Scores.
Short
No
version,
score.
but I found a Robbo. Remember the old days? Like it was a crossover to the MCG. Wow, that's a 21-minute mark. All right, let's have a quick look at this. We've got to get going on this
Round
podcast.
Brisbane Lions taking on Carlton. Brisbane are going to win that at the Gabba. You would have thought a couple of players still out for Carlton. Don't think people are going to be watching this game and deciding where they're at. We know last time they played.
But the bang on app is Friday nights, so this is the game.
Yes, this is the game. I think for me, Brisbane are going to win it by quite a bit.
Yep.
Carlton, obviously, we know why they're playing against each other. It was an amazing game last time they played. So looking forward to that one. Let's go to the Suns. I mean, you can pick who you want. Who do you reckon,
I
Davo?
think Brisbane Lions.
Let's go to the
Suns.
Suns.
I'll put them on top of the ladder.
Suns and Richmond, another great story there. Adam Uze.
That's a big loss for the D's.
It is. He's a great coach, and we wish him well. He really deserves this. He's been the bridesmaid so many times, and he's so excited to finally, I'm going to tell you right now, he's so excited to be the head coach. He's bringing new vibrancy to the Richmond Football Club. That hasn't been seen in a long time. I know the players are going to respond. Will it be straight away? Don't think so. I think the Gold Coast Suns will win this one. But stay tuned, Richmond supporters. Tom Lynch will be back at some point this year. They have a good club. They've got young players coming through. They will be a good team soon, just not now. GWS against Collingwood. I want to see GWS win this one. I really do. And I don't think, did I say that right?
I think you would.
GWS.
Yes.
I don't think they'll, Collingwood, I don't think they'll win this one. It's that whole premiership thing, you know.
This is the thing that's
they'll
odd
wait.
for me. And I don't love doing the odds, but I'm like $2.23 versus $1.67. So they won the premiership. They finished on top last year.
Don't try to understand the gambling agencies, mate. They've got it all pegged. They know what's going on.
Well, GWS has got it then, apparently. I just thought that was a bit odd. I think if this is the year GWS need to step up, then this is the game and they've got to beat Collingwood. And that's going to be tough to beat the reigning premiers who probably had, I don't know, who knows, maybe they didn't have as good a pre-season as everyone thinks.
A very Melbourne podcast, formerly known as Robbo Live. That has been the first show, the O Show.
Has it?
Yeah, that's the O Show. That's done. We're done.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Oh, yeah, then it's me.
Yes, it's you now. This is Davo singing his, I think I want to say it's your, if you were releasing it and it was, everyone knew this would be the song that you're releasing first. Yeah.
Just because it's the easiest one for you to play.
It's 3 chords. Thank you. Haven't played it much. I had a little crack a little bit before. So, David, why don't you walk over there and set yourself up now? Sign off, first,ly. That's been the O Show.
I'll go sort it out. And now I know this is weird that we want to get other musicians on. So I am going to point out the obvious, which is it feels dumb to cross to myself.
No, don't. It's fine because the O Show, we'd rushed this up, guys.
We
rushed this up today. We thought, you know what? There was some
week.
banter online, Davo, that made you think, well, we should do a show for the fans. We wanted give a shout out to the Robbo Live fans of the last four years since the premiership. They've been wonderful to us. We've been doing this out of this room for 4 years. We've loved it. We're expanding this year. We're going further with this, and we want to involve you. We at some point will be with David Neitz down at his new pub. We cannot wait to get down there, set this up down there. We want to invite you guys along to be a part of the live A Very Melbourne podcast, where we will combine the Melbourne Football Club, the MCG. It'll be actually, we're thinking an away game on the rooftop bar, live music, Melbourne supporters. We'll do it before the game. We might even come back after the game, and we'll have musos as Davo steps in front of my camera while he's setting up. There we go. We've got Fee's. Shout out to Fee, who is working her absolute coit off over there trying to get this right. She's not the techo of the family. That's Davo. So, Dave, I'm going to hand over to you in a second when you put your headphones on. I'm going to grab mine as well, and I'm just going to join in when you start. So why don't you just crack into this brand new song he'd written, and it's the aptly named Demons. Thank you for calling it Demons. No. So he says to play Demons here.
You didn't turn up on time.
Oh my gosh. Is this really love?
Is this really love?
Is what we're doing. Song I should call. Is there a song on the album called Demons?
Yes, there is a song on the album called Demons, and it's not about demons.
All right. Well, why don't you just crack your mud, start playing some tunes, some chords for me, and I will sign off officially from over here. And so that's been the O Show, back in earnest, round 1 next week. Very Melbourne podcast. Jason Taylor will be our very special guest. Tell your friends about us. We want as many people tuning in there. Over to you, Dave.
I can't trust these thoughts. They've been wrong before. I'm haunted by a ghost that won't let me love or let you go. I'm a basket case, usual escapades. Would you take me in if I promise you that I could change? Is this a really love? Is it really love? Is it really love or something I've been dreaming of? Is this a really love? Is it really love? Is it really love or something I've been dreaming of again? I'm trying to silence these doubts, stop them from getting out. But the crowd surrounds, they won't rest until I'm taken down. It's a one-note track, I can't turn back. Would you take me in if I promise you that I could change? Is this a really love? Is it really love? Is it really love or something I've been dreaming of? Is this a really love? Is it really love? Is it really love or something I've been dreaming of again? Is this a really love? Is it really love? Is it really love or something I've been dreaming of? And again, and again, and again. If I could turn back time, and if I could
find a way. I'll take back all the words that I hurt you, and you'd say, and if I could reach the stars, I'd give them all to you. Then you'll love me, love me, love like you used to do. And that's it ends.
Oh, that's
Is
beautiful.
this a really love? Is it really love? Is it really love or something I've been dreaming up again? Thank you very much, everyone.
David, that was awesome.
See you next week.
Where's my pick?
Oh, God.